Kia ora and welcome back to the BEIA Be On Air podcast series, coming at you from Meetings 2026 inside the amazing New Zealand International Convention Centre. And our next guest is one I've been looking forward to greatly. Shayne Forrest, the General Manager of Hobbiton. Welcome.
Thank you. Great to be here.
So it's so cool. Your stand here at Meetings 2026 is already legendary and we've only just kicked off. I went in and checked it out myself. Can you just walk us through the stand itself and what it took to get that in a building like this?
Yeah, so it's been a fantastic collaboration with the team at HobbitonTM Movie Set to bring a piece of Hobbiton here to Auckland and NZICC. So it feels very much like a digger's just gone into Hobbiton and scooped up a hobbit hole and drove up State Highway 1 and planted it here. So it's been several months in the construction process of putting it together. The talented team down at Hobbiton have built it down in one of our workshops, done lots of tests. There's been a little bit of development because we have a little stream that runs through and a water wheel that churns the butter in there as well. So that's a new element that's been placed into that hobbit hole. But because we're doing the show in winter, there was a lot of considerations they had to take in a few months ago as well, such as making sure we had planting plants at the right time, the gardens and the flowers, so that we had colour in the hobbit holes. And also they wanted to incorporate a vine around the hobbit hole structure that's there, a grapevine. So they had to pluck off some grapevine leaves a few months ago, preserve them, and then store them to make sure they were here to then individually wire on yesterday. So it's a piece of Middle Earth that had been brought here to NZICC for meetings. A real hobbit hole, and we want people to feel like they're stepping into Middle Earth as part of our stand.
Well, people are in awe of it. And that is just, a corner of the trade show here at Meetings 2026. But I guess the experience when you actually go to Hobbiton, you enter Middle Earth, is so much bigger. Tell us what that is like.
Yes, so this is just a piece here at Meetings of the Middle Earth that we offer down in the Waikato region. So what we're quite proud of is Hobbiton is recognised by Guinness Book of World Records as the largest movie set ever to be constructed for a movie in the entire world, which is pretty cool for us to have here in New Zealand.
Yeah.
So we take visitors on a journey through the real Middle Earth that we have down there in Matamata, past the 44 hobbit holes. So all individually themed, their own colours, their own gardens, and it's very much teaching people what was involved in turning a piece of rural New Zealand into a film set for one of the most iconic film franchises of all time, Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. So taking people through, but then as of about 2 years ago now, we opened the interiors of Bagshot Row. So we were the exterior set used for filming.
Yep.
The hobbit holes are deep enough for the actors playing the hobbits to open the door, walk inside, close the door behind them. But now we have Bagshot Row, where visitors have the opportunity to venture beyond the door, explore what we imagine the home of a hobbit to look like, designed and built by the same people who worked on the original location, so it very much fits within the world that's already been created out there in Hobbiton. And then once everyone's been through the interiors of Bagshot Row, lay down on the bed, sat on the chairs, we always have one or two get in the bath as part of that as well, which is always good fun. We head across to the Green Dragon Inn, where everyone gets to taste a little piece of Middle Earth as well. So we brew our own beverages under the name Hobbit South Farthing, and that's where we finish the tour at the Green Dragon.
Do you know every single hobbit by name and by hole?
If I say yes, are you going to question me and make me look wrong?
No, because I don't.
Yes, I have a fairly good idea about the majority of the hobbit holes that are there. Some are unassigned, some are assigned. There are the key hobbit holes such as Bagshot Row, Bag End, the home of Frodo and Bilbo Baggins, and then a few unassigned hobbit holes that we use there in the background. So 44 hobbit holes in total. So the tour of Hobbiton itself is what we offer every day, but that's the reason we're here at Meetings is we also offer our events. So we can host up to 1,000 people on site after hours for our special gala dinners, incentive dinners, all those types of things. So last year we did New Zealand's first drone show out there at Hobbiton, where we had a tour of Hobbiton, created our marketplace where we want people to feel like they've just walked in on a Hobbit market day with cheeses and meats and breads and dips and big roasts, because hobbits take their food pretty seriously, so do we out there at Hobbiton. But then we had a water screen, 40 feet high, 80 feet wide, that we projected scenes from the movie onto. And then that scene, as the two naughty hobbits by the name of Merry and Pippin get into some of Gandalf's famous fireworks in the first Lord of the Rings movie. We played up to that, and then we showed the dragon firework taking off, starting to go over the crowd. We dropped the water screen, and then the drones flew up, and the drones turned into the dragon, which flew out over the crowd, and then recreated some of the main scenes from the film, such as Gandalf reaching for the ring. Sorry, not Gandalf. Gollum reaching for the ring, Gandalf blowing smoke rings, the ring dropping into Mount Doom, and all those types of things. So we can produce some pretty spectacular evening events out there at Hobbiton as well.
Sounds amazing. I mean, to me, Hobbiton would sell itself.
So I'm out of the job.
Well, exactly. But you are here, obviously at Meetings 2026, trying to drum up some clients and some visitors. What is it that a trade show like this can do for an experience like Hobbiton? Yeah,
Meetings is a huge opportunity for us to come along and reconnect with a lot of our established connections, but also because they work alongside Air New Zealand and Tourism New Zealand to bring people from all around the world, bring in buyers. It gives us an opportunity to sort of let people know who are offshore that don't know so much about Hobbiton that we are an opportunity. We are very well known for our daytime tour operation, but our area of growth and the X factor of Hobbiton is those evening events. So we want to be pushing more and more into this market. So Meetings is a fantastic opportunity for us to come along and connect with some really good, high quality buyers, and hopefully get some bookings along for people to come and experience our piece of Middle Earth.
Can you do a full range could you do a full conference down there?
Yeah, so we have some conference facilities in our hub venues, so we can use that during the day. So that's available for conferencing, and then we go into the evening dinners. We can have lunches privately during the day as well, so we have a range of fully themed venues out there as well. Our evening banquet tour is very well known. We offer that to the public 3 to 4 nights a week, and then it's available 3 to 4 nights a week for private events. And that's when, in the first Hobbit movie, when the dwarves arrive unexpectedly at Bag End, raid Bilbo's pantry and put all the food out on the table. So we're trying to recreate that scene. So in front of everyone, laid out, banquet style, is mushrooms, potatoes, whole chickens, lamb shanks, served in the ceramics, designed to be picked up and shared. We have a main followed by a dessert. And then at the end of the evening, we give everyone little copper handheld lanterns, and you make your way back through the movie set to see Hobbiton by night. So yeah, we can do conferences during the day, lunches during the day, evening little intimate dinners. We have over 100 weddings a year out there at Hobbiton. Elijah Wood himself crashed a wedding last year at Hobbiton. And the couple described it as, it's as if you were getting married in a church and Jesus stopped by.
Pretty much,
yeah,
right?
I thought that was a pretty good comparison.
That's amazing. Are you yourself a fan? Is that how you got into working with Hobbiton?
Yeah, so I've probably, if I'm honest, I've become more of a fan the longer I've worked there. So I was familiar with the movies when I first started. I started around the time of the Hobbit movies as their original food and beverage manager. But the more you get to know the work that goes into creating Hobbiton, creating the movies and maintaining the Hobbiton site, the more of a fan I've become. So yeah, now it's at the point that's why I forgot to remember One Ring today, because I wear it all the time and my wife's like, why are you in your uniform? We're out here. And I'm like, no, this is part of my everyday identity now. I'm a Hobbit. Just embrace it. So she loves it. We've embraced it now. But yeah, I'm a fan, but it wasn't so much at the start, but being there for 14 years, getting to know the people, the care and the love that goes into maintaining Hobbiton has turned me into a huge fan now.
A huge super fan. Fans of The Hobbit, of The Lord of the Rings, are prolific. They're probably quite intense. Have you seen any crazy things? Have you seen any crazy fans at Hobbiton?
I wouldn't say crazy fans. I'd say passionate fans.
Passionate,
that come out to us there at Hobbiton. But yeah, it's really nice to be part of, because so many people grow up with the books and then they grow up watching the movies. So when they finally get to step into Hobbiton and realize Middle Earth is a real place and it's right there in front of them and they're a part of it. So we have our big events every year, like International Hobbit Day, where people fly from all around the world to celebrate Frodo and Bilbo's birthday, and a big event we have out there in Hobbiton in one of our marketplaces. So with those types of events, you have people come in that we have tears quite often. We had someone come in once, the most enthusiastic I've ever had is someone that came in, started crying and kissing the ground, and I was like, oh, this is good, but it was such an overwhelming moment for them. And then they started hyperventilating, had a full-on nosebleed. So that's the peak level of excitement that I've experienced myself. But really nice to be such an important part of people's lives, that Lord of the Rings is so important to them, and that they can make that dream come a reality when they step into Hobbiton is pretty special. But then we get the other end of the scale is half our visitors haven't seen the movies, they haven't read the books, they don't know about Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit, but they know New Zealand is Middle Earth. So when they're in New Zealand, they want to do something Middle-earth related, so they come and see us. So we get both ends of the enthusiasm scale, but it's really special to be such an important part of people's lives.
What percentage of your visitors are actually wearing outfits, costumes?
Yeah, we get a few every day. So for our International Hobbit Day, our staff actually now have to wear our uniforms because when we used to dress as hobbits for those events, you couldn't tell who was a staff member and who was the general public because everyone comes dressed up. There's a lot of cosplay societies that spend 12 months between International Hobbit Days making their outfits. So there's some amazing costumes that come along. But on a daily basis, we'll probably have a dozen people every day at least that come dressed up as hobbits, dwarves, elves, Sauron. It's Gandalf. We have everything out there, which is, again, pretty good that people are so passionate about it that they want to come in and enjoy themselves is the main thing.
Now, let's get to some possibly businessy topics, because obviously with the economy the way it is, international travel sort of slowing down, are you feeling the impact of that? And is that why you're here, trying to find some new buyers?
Yeah, it is. So at the moment, things are still ticking along quite nicely for Hobbiton. We're lucky at the moment that there is a lot of demand for the product. And looking at where we were pre-COVID, to make sure we maintain our experience and we're the best experience we can be, the best thing we could do for that was actually limit our numbers. So if we look back at what we put through pre-pandemic, if we're still allowed to say those words, we actually do 30% people less now, but that's a decision that we've made because we want Hobbiton to be the best it can be long term. We want it to be an amazing experience. So we make sure we're not overcrowding. We don't have too many people out there. So we are controlling the flow. So luckily at the moment, we still have great support from our international partners and our buyers, that we still have a lot of people coming through Hobbiton and we still have good demand for Hobbiton. So the messaging that we come to events is making sure people are booking in advance. But we're also not wanting to take that for granted. So it's making sure we're here talking about 1 year's time, 2 years' time, 3 years' time to make sure that demand doesn't start to drop off. So we're never going to take it for granted. We need to carry on working with our partners to make sure we maintain that level of demand for Hobbiton. And what's also going to help as well is, of course, there's the new Lord of the Rings movie, The Hunt for Gollum, that's in production at the moment, being filmed in New Zealand, and that's been scheduled for release in December 2027. So 25 years since the first Lord of the Rings movie came out, around 15 years since The Hobbit. So it's going to be great to have that refresh, which is also going to help still position New Zealand as Middle-earth and hopefully keep people coming here as a result of those very popular movies.
That is so exciting. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, Hunt for Gollum.
Very cool. Thank you so much, Shayne. I hope it's very successful meetings 2026 for you, and thank you very much for having a chat with us.
My pleasure. Thanks very much.